hang on tight.
All right, so this is our episode 0 of They Might Be Two-Headed Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Dennis.
And I'm Dave.
And we have been friends and played Magic together since roughly, I'll give a year because we're different ages, like 1994 or 5, I would say.
Yeah, well, I started like right when Revise came out.
Yeah.
And
I was actually numbering our friendship.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
because was it at a Carroll County Public Library tournament that we met?
That's entirely possible.
Or was it at a basement Dungeons and Dragons game? Either way.
Yeah. Well, but I feel like we didn't know each other then, and we weren't playing together then. But it would have been like a year or two after that.
Tops. Yeah, we were playing other stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your mother drove us to like my first big pre-release, I think.
There was that one, I think it was Mirage, maybe.
Yeah.
In College Park.
Mm-hmm. I think that was your mom who drove us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go way back, and this started off as a joke, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Because we were talking about all the streaming going on, and we didn't notice a two-person running one account stream and Two-Headed Giants, and then your favorite band is They Might Be Giants. One of my favorite bands. We've been to They Might Be Giants concerts, so They Might Be Two-Headed Giants, and we'll figure out a better format. But I think you and I each are hovering a little bit over 50% win rate and Theros.
Right.
But we're not doing Theros.
Yeah, because
my Arena Cube win rate, I've done 2. Mm-hmm. I am 4-3 and 2-3, I think.
Well, I think your rating then for Cube Sealed is better than mine, but I've done like 13.
Okay.
So I've run the gamut.
I could open up my own Arena Companion and tell you for sure. I know I was 4-3. I might be overstating. So if we get 50% or better, then the determination is that 2 heads are better than 1. If we get less, then in fact us playing together is empirically and categorically the reason why we did worse.
Of course.
Right? And we'll feel bad.
Sure, and we're ignoring silly things like sample size.
Sample size, card pool.
Mm-hmm. Variants of all kinds.
Yeah, I mean, we've controlled for everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a
simulation.
Yeah, we're going to do Arena Cubed because Theros will soon not be part of this world. The thought was we were going to draft, but this cube is not a draft. But it is such a mess to build. I think there is something to be said about what the hell you do next.
Yeah.
Okay, before we even open it, what is your observation about Arena Cubed?
Yeah, good question.
Thank you.
So I think we're both in agreement that the bombs are super bomby and really will win you the game.
This is to borrow another podcast term, this is a Prince format, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a cube, so there should be like tons of good cards, it still feels like there's like 3 or 4 per deck, unless your deck is bad, which mine was once.
Right. Well, and because it's sealed, it's a lot more dependent on that because synergy is a lot harder to get.
There are a lot of mana fixing options, and I found that when I was in 3 colors, the third color really kind of was pushed over the edge with the fixing I got.
Yeah.
Because I find that you're going to find a game-winning card in each color, and then it's just a matter of like, how do you build the whole stack, the whole pile?
Right.
How many do you go 18 or 19 lands just because you're like, well, these will all win me the game and whatever. But I did get run over once by an aggro cube, which
I've played against more aggressive decks than I'd expect, which is weird to me because there's a lot of wraths available in the card pools. But they do. I mean, I think some of these decks that are just playing like on curve 2, 3, 4 can be good, but
yes.
you know, like if you don't have one of those wraths, then you're fine. Like, you know, it almost feels like, I mean, they're all like ranges of mid range. But
Yes,
it's like
of
if you're on
course.
the aggressive side of mid range, then you're good if you go up against people who don't have a lot of wraths, but and then lose to like every other kind of deck.
Yeah, I had my deck that didn't do well, and my sample sizes too. So I mean, take this with a grain of salt. Had planar cleansing, and I literally never cast it because I either was mana screwed or color screwed. I mean, it's a triple white casting. So I mean, I understand that turn 6 is not in my 3-color deck is not really reasonable to expect. But still, I was in like turn 15. And even up through then, I was not dead if I had cast it, and I didn't get it. But it does seem like you might prey upon some people who stumble. But man, the haymakers are so big in this format that being like a quote aggro deck, I mean, it seems precarious. But I mean, it all depends on the pool. I didn't get a sense that any color was better than another color.
I think
mean,
blue is good.
Well, I mean, it depends on. I guess I should say it's pool dependent, right?
Yeah.
I guess we're in a sealed pool. Dream Trawler is still perhaps my pick for the best bomb in this format.
Still busted.
Which is, I mean, saying something. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Of course, Ugin is great, not because he wins the game by himself, because it's actually a pretty powerful format, but he's a top card that goes in every deck you build, which is just like, it just feels good to know that you've got that extra flexibility. So, you know, seeing him around is, I think, a big psychological edge, because you can't go wrong dropping him in there. Icy Manipulator being in the format is enormous. I had that and an Entrancing Liar at one point, so I was just like, you know, really stonewalling, trying to dig for my answers and stuff. And both of those cards are important against Dream Trawler too, because they can be non-card advantage ways to burn through stuff and potentially get ahead of that. It's crazy to me that I'm talking about Dream Trawler like it defines the format, but I kind of think it has in the small sample size I've played.
Yeah, the other ones that I've run into a lot that often seem like if you cast them you win have been Agent of Treachery or Bolas's Clutches.
Yes.
Like, the steal effects are still extremely good, and you know,
and there are wraths. There are wraths, so it's not. I mean, the thing about Dream Trawler is that when I was using it, I was in 3 colors. And I was very rarely running it out on turn 6.
Sure.
So by the time I was playing it, I wasn't really worried about a wrath other than as a top deck, because unless they had no reason to play it, I guess. Like, I was aggressive, and I never managed to really get aggressive in this deck. So I guess we'll leave our thoughts about the cube as a whole, like in a relative sense, until after we actually do something with it together. But that's basically what I found. I mean, play your bombs. There is aggressive stuff out there, so don't think you're safe not running 2-drops, and then just hope that your cards sort of coalesce in a couple colors.
Yep.
So
that's for you.
Anyway, yeah, so here we go. Dave, you're going to spend gems on this? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I blew enough gold yesterday doing this cube that I ran down, so...
Okay. All right, here we go. That's dedication to cube.
I know, right?
Let's confirm that purchase, baby. Your purchase. So how have you found Gideon? Have you used him at all in this format?
Yeah, I mean, I tried some amount of aggressive decks myself. And he's really the only place you want to be for that.
That was where I was going, I guess, in my mind. I had not run him because I just don't think he actually does enough unless the deck is dedicated to a curve out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think that's kind of crazy because I think in most times you could find a use for him. That's not crazy. I think it speaks the power level of the cube. Let me be precise.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tool and not a bomb per se.
Yes.
A lot of Settle the Wreckages running around. Like, a lot of my decks have had them.
Very good. So how do you, let me ask you this. Do you just like take a survey of things or do you like pull cards out like as you go through them initially? What's your...
Yeah, I like flipping through, what's available and then trying out a few builds.
So on this first screen, I would say you don't have necessarily anything that's a game winner, but I think you have like 5, like all these are playable.
Sure.
Ajani, Settle the Wreckage, Elspeth Conquers Death are all like B pluses in this format in the sense that they are game changing. Elspeth is just huge value. Settle the Wreckage can be a blowout. Ajani is just like a rock solid planeswalker. Legion's Landing, a Mentor of the Meek. I mean, we do have the start of a curve here if we get some other colors that work, but a pretty good first 8 cards, I would say.
Yeah, but it's still not bomby enough for me to be like,
no,
I want to hone in on that.
No, I'm not settled on white. Like I said, Planar Cleansing is real tough to cast.
Yep.
Lyra and Harmonious Archon. Harmonious Archon, I guess, is a really game-changing card. It's hard to call it like a game winner because it's so situational here.
Yeah.
But Lyra is a bomb, right? Would you say Lyra can win it?
I wouldn't even call her a bomb. I mean, very strong, obviously, good finisher, but just
there's so much removal. So we're not married to white.
Yep.
But I would say blue from the start looks terrible.
Boy, I hate Quench, but that's one of my things.
Blue really only has one card in the category of the big white cards we mentioned in our pack. I'd say God Eternal Kefnet is the only card that really has me hankering for play blue. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, some of this stuff is like, if we were drafting it, it'd be one thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot more we could do. A lot of people like running this War-Kite card. And
Wavebreak Hippocamp, also something to keep in mind with splashing if we do end up with instants and sorceries. Like, I mean, there's a lot of value there. But again, none of this, I think it's, gold cards are real important too, but right now we're not feeling the pull of blue.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think about black so far?
Looks like some grindy stuff so far. Midnight Reaper, goes in pretty much any black deck.
Mm-hmm.
Foreboding Fruit's fine. Order of Midnight's fine. Rankle. Liliana does get up to bomb range for me.
Yes. Gray Merchant, Blade Juggler. Blade Juggler is nice, but again, that would be sort of if we're looking at that aggressive curve. Like that would be a nice 3-drop if we're going to try to be aggressive. But
yeah, I mean, if that's your play on 5 against some of the other options.
Yeah, it's brutal. So right now, I'd be leaning towards black-white.
Yeah, Blackpool here doesn't have any removal.
No,
which is part of the problem.
Yes, let's look at our start of red. Nothing very inspiring so far. Sheevan Fire,
yeah, Fling.
Yeah, Fling, probably terrible. Fling's the sort of card that would really have benefited from this being a draft.
Yep.
Let's see, Phoenix of Ash. That's another card that I think is fine, but just is like went from being like one of the best cards in a format to essentially
pretty replaceable. Yeah.
Great to play, but it's certainly not pulling me in that direction. It's too fair, right?
Yeah.
It's just a fundamentally fair card, and it doesn't really matter. Rekindling Phoenix, very similar to Phoenix of Ash in that regard.
Yeah, the things that are pulling me most here are the Lava Coil, Slaying Fire, to some extent Flame Sweep, although that's kind of more hit or miss.
What about the dragons? How do you feel about those right now?
Yeah, good. We put them in the deck, but
they're not big pulls. But right now, this is our removal. We didn't really have white removal either.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So green. Questy B always.
Questy
Solid.
Beast, always solid. Once upon a time, you'd always include it, right? I mean,
pretty much.
first that we're in games, fine.
Yeah.
Wayward Sabertooth. If we were gonna be like good stuff pile, don't sleep on Wayward Sabertooth's land ability. If you want to run 18 lands and go to town, I mean that does come into play.
Yeah. There's a minor amount of ramp so far, but really, we'd rather have Llanowar or any of the 2 mana.
Yeah. Fauna Shaman, back up one. Fauna Shaman also seems way too fair in this format, right?
Yeah. I don't even know if there'd be a way to abuse it at all.
I don't see one in this card pool, but I'm just saying Fauna Shaman's one of those cards you think is a huge enabler, but it just doesn't seem to have a home in what our card pool. I'm not going to go so far as say the format.
Sure.
Okay.
Vivian solid, Cavalier solid, Enraze it. If we really had some more ramp than what we do, but.
So interesting. We've got 2 sets of white-blue fixing, which is worth considering if we're going to splash. We got a black-white, and we've got really good black-white removal right there, which is huge. Seraph of the Scales, a very solid, very good card. Not the game winner it was, but it does enough that it does. I mean, I think that we were gravitating towards black, white, red, some combination. I would feel better in black, white main just based on these 3 cards than I did before.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually in Ethereal Absolution.
Well, okay. There you go. So
which isn't as bomby as it was in that format, but still I think very solid.
Does a lot. We've also got we don't even need to really worry about red anymore unless we want to. And Assassin's Trophy, Casualties of War, and Garruk could be reasons to just go full Abzan if we can make the mana work.
I think these 2 especially are pretty decent bombs.
We have 1 black-green fixing. So we've got three lands that will do double duty so far in an Abzan build, which is significant. And then there's a 4th.
We got Golos is fixing.
Golos is an amazing card for this. Sishana and Knight of Autumn. Knight of Autumn, because you're best of 1, I probably would play as a low opportunity cost artifact enchantment removal. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. And there's some artifacts and enchantments that you really want to have.
Yes.
Kind of answering your deck for Platinum Angels in this format. I've seen some screenshots of some games that can't possibly end because of
double Platinum Angels.
Yep.
Yeah, fun.
With no cards in either deck. But yeah, that's something you want to be able to answer. A lot of Banishing Light style enchantments, which it's always good to be able to answer those.
The Mox Amber, I'm going to assume we probably won't use, but that's something to circle back to, right? I don't know what the critical mass is, but maybe we'll be close. It's definitely worth considering. Traveler's Amulet in 3 colors, I think, is great.
Yep.
So, do we want to just start pulling out our stuff from here? Yeah.
Yep, we can start. Maybe Egg if we really need the fixing. Just pull it out for now.
Clockwork Servant, probably not.
Yeah, it's just too low power level.
Yeah, Sunpetal Grove, we're going to be running Abzan colors and the Knight of Autumn.
Yeah, let's start with those 3 colors, and then we can see if we scale back to 2 color plus splash. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great plan. How much fixing would you want before you really felt comfortable going 3 colors?
More than we have, is what I would say.
Well, yeah, I think so. I also think I misremembered. I thought that the blues were fixing. So we really only have 3 lands that are fixing for us right now. So Despark and Mortify and Seraph will all go in. We'll just make this a wish list, right? We don't have to necessarily think we're going to be able to pull off Vivian and Cavalier.
Yeah, we can put them in, but...
I'm thinking green is going to be our splash. Even though we want it for the fixing.
Right.
It's tough. Because really,
First arrow in? What do you think?
yeah, I mean, if I could had my druthers, I'd play it, but we'll have to see how many green mana symbols we're at, because it doesn't seem like we're going to cut the others.
It's true. Yeah, let's go back to these other stronger colors and then. So definitely Liliana, maybe Grey Merchant, maybe Blade Juggler, definitely Rankle. Erebos.
Unlikely to get him as a creature.
Yeah.
The card advantage is fine. We're unlikely to. I don't think we're going to have a bunch of creatures laying around to throw. I mean, it's fine if to like get it out from under removal.
Right.
Well, Gutter Bones, I guess. We do have Gutter Bones.
Sure. Let's throw these in there.
Yes, throw them in. I mean, I don't know if I'm sold on who. All right, Legion's Landing. Yeah, Daxos. Double white is tough. You can't really expect him to come out on turn 2, but he does maybe enough.
Yeah, and we're playing a probably slow enough deck that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A ton.
Settle the Records, Elspeth, Ajani, Harmonious.
Probably still play Gideon.
Minister of Obligation depends on our 3. Now we want to look at our curve, because for Mentor the Meek and Minister of Obligation, because Mentor, if we have enough people, could get at it.
Yeah, so my thinking right now is we do the white-black with green splash.
Is casual? So here's your question: is Casualties of War too greedy in that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so powerful though.
So we have Golden Egg and Traveler's Amulet in the basic deck, and Forbidding Fruit. No. Whoops, that's not right. Yeah, we've got 2 cards in the basic deck that's help us splash, and we've got Once Upon a Time, which is kind of fixing, but we're going to be really powering it through on the strength of our lands.
Right.
So,
this
I mean,
is
like,
no good. So
I think I would cut Questing Beast first.
Yeah.
When he's really good. That's weird. Our farce count went up when we cut that. There's something we desire about auto fixing. Is Legion's Landing impactful enough?
Yeah, it depends if we need the bodies or not. Like, if we keep cutting some of these marginal green, leaves us as green splashes, Assassin's Trophy, Knight of Autumn, Garrick, and Casualties, the ambitious Casualties, we'll say.
All right, so then let's see the other cards that just don't do it. You could just get rid of Gutterbones and Erebos, right? Gutterbones, it can't block anyway, or not aggressive. If we, the more we unload our first 3 colors of double symbols, right, the less the mana is going to tax us. So Gideon would be another potential cut.
Sure.
As would Daxos. Right, and now we're at 3 cards over.
We also said maybe Legion's Landing.
I don't think the land ability is really going to matter. We're transforming it's kind of
that's
not a priority. Our 6th spot is extremely dense. I mean,
chunky there. Also, yeah.
Not many creatures.
Not many creatures.
I
would count Liliana and Garrick as creatures.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, what about our black mana symbols? Is Grey Merchant even worth fooling with?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is.
Yeah, so he goes bye-bye. We're down to 9.
We should definitely cut a 6 or more, and then...
So planar, of course, the less creatures we have, the better planar cleansing looks, relatively speaking. Ethereal Absolution starts looking worse because we're not buffing very much.
Yeah, although it's still good because of blunting its opponent's creatures
It's true.
and
It's a
generates its own.
it's a 2 power, 2 toughness swing, which is
Mhm.
significant. Planar Cleansing looks like a stronger keep at this point as well, because we have so few creatures. If we
Right.
can rope-a-dope, it gets a lot stronger. And we have that in Settle the Wreckage. Ajani's a creature too, really, if you count it.
Yeah, that's true. He
You
does.
put down a body.
put out
So
these
let's make
tokens.
sure. Yeah, okay, what about Golden Egg? Not a creature. Bad fixing. It's more smoothing than fixing.
Right. I still like it if we're gonna try and play like casualties.
If we're gonna, if it's true, if we're gonna get rid of casualties, we could probably make Golden Egg the first casualty, right? You get rid of Golden Egg, you do less fixing, and you put something else back in. But I mean, casualties is just such a good game ender. Okay, let me ask you another question. Golos, do we have any way to monkey around with his 5-cost ability? I don't think we do, and I don't think it's. We could check to see if we have any scry or tap lands in our off colors that might provide us that outlet.
Yeah, I like doing the temples as of colors rim, but it gets
Yes.
iffier with
So
the gain land.
we would have to use Blood Crypt and Dismal Backwater is basically what I'm seeing.
Right.
Blood Crypt and Dismal Backwater are not ideal for that. Mox
There's-
Amber.
There's Mox Amber.
So that was prophetic. I said circle back. So among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control, we have 3 planeswalkers right now, right?
Yeah, we've got Liliana Garrick,
Ajani.
Ajani. We
Legend-
have Rankle, Lyra.
Golos.
Yeah, but it doesn't add mana for Golos.
Oh, he doesn't. Yeah, doesn't have a color.
Right.
So we're looking at 6 sources. And if we have them out, of course, is the only one. It's going to make it more priority for them to remove it.
And Golden Egg, for a one shot.
Probably more we want. And it draws. So is Blade Juggler? I know I haven't mentioned him. He's been hiding under the radar. I mean, is he? I know you have him as a 3-cost. Do we have any way to really reliably spectacle him out?
Yeah, probably not.
So he's probably. But so the question would be: is we were better off putting something else there just as a body?
Right. Well, I'd start at the top here. Like I want to cut this Archon because
That's
it's
fine.
the weakest of the 6s. Even if casualties ends up going, it's still a lot there. Which puts us even further behind on creatures. So we consider
the Ministrant. I like the Ministrant here just to if you get 3 chump blocks out of him, that might be enough.
Yeah, it's good with Absolution.
Yes.
Some other stuff.
So do we swap out the Blade Juggler at that point, and just try to find another cat creature 3 CMC or less?
Yeah, that's possible. Or we try buffing up like our 2 and 3 slots. Like I wonder about Once Upon a Time. Like I don't have experience splashing this card at all.
Well, if it's outside your first hand, now suddenly you need a green source.
Right.
If it's in your first hand, it's
it's
very
matter.
strong. But does it matter? Okay, but it also can get us to our winners.
Right.
Well, let's start at the big guys, right? Is there any of the 5s that we're gonna cut? Probably not.
Yeah, these are all good.
Elspeth Conquers Death. We really need that spot removal. We only have 2 spot removals to Spark and Assassin's Trophy. Other than that,
Yeah,
and Mortify
as well.
So we got 4. 4 is a lot better than 3 in this instance, I think. And if our solid value threats get killed, bringing them back, Garrick, Liliana, Ajani, Seraph, those start to get huge. So we don't want to cut any of those. Rankle, Seraph the Scales, Ajani Settle the Record. None of those are worth cutting. They're all great. Foreboding, Fruit, and Once Upon a Time. That gives you food if you use all black mana. Is that correct? Foreboding,
That's
Fruit?
correct.
So let's see what our color pool looks like in terms of maybe being a little bit less vulnerable to aggro. Well, is there anything else we could put in there with in mind? It's not trying to win the game. We're just trying to survive
Just
till we can
stall.
win the game. Yeah.
Yeah, which I found is pretty important. Daxos is a possibility again. Possibly
He's tough.
already cast. Gutter Bones can block but comes in tapped. This is an aggressive card.
Now you have our gold.
We could run this as a white card. Yeah, tapping is.
Yeah, it's not really cutting the mustard. What about Shauna? No, she's like a non-bow with what we're trying to do.
Right.
So, I mean, Order of Midnight. I mean, Blade Juggler is really, it's a 5 cost in this deck. So if you look at it, we have.
Oh, I ruined it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay. Yeah.
We don't have any blockers in the 1 and 2 mana spots because Order of Midnight can't block, correct? Yeah.
No,
So that seems tenuous.
I agree. So Legion's Landing does give us a token, and Daxos is a life gain and a blocker.
Yes. Okay, so we're at 43. Do we cut Once Upon a Time because we're scared of the unknown?
Or do we try it for the thrill of discovery?
I mean, you could cut Once Upon a Time and Casualties of War and make it like a real green spot, like a more of a splash. Or we could keep them, and we could cut.
Well, this is much more reasonable because it's effectively like 13 creatures.
Yes, 3 green symbols. Well, what's your? Do we have enough ways to win? Is Garruk too fair in this format? I mean, he's good. He's very good.
Yeah. I think he's enough of a win condition for us because you can get him to ultimate.
Mm-hmm. And I think that realistically, of course, we're not going to run 3 forests. We've got a Traveler's Amulet. If we're not doing double green symbol, we probably go down to 1 forest, don't you think?
Yeah, 1 forest, 2 lands, and a Traveler's Amulet.
And an egg.
And an egg if we keep the egg.
Right.
Yep.
That's true. If we're not running casualties, we could cut the egg and say this is our deck.
Right.
If we put the casualties back in, we need to really put the egg back in and cut the Blade Juggler. And man, it starts to get tough at that point.
It's not terrible though.
No. I mean, casualties is good, but you're not going to hit the nut case of it.
I've done it once.
I mean, 4 is very manageable.
Right.
5 happens. 6 is a little less likely. So what do we think? We could keep it just like this. Do we want to swap out the Blade Juggler for something? Is there anything else? How many power 2 or less creatures do we have? Because it's when they enter the battlefield, keep in mind. So some of our all of our planeswalkers will trigger off Mentor the Meek.
Huh, that's interesting.
So that's really, I think that makes that a really strong inclusion. And the tokens off the Ministrant.
Yeah. It's more reasonable than because I wasn't thinking about the tokens.
So you've got Garrick, Liliana, Ajani, the Seraph for her tokens,
Yep.
the Knight of Autumn if we choose a certain mode, the
Hmm.
Ministrant plus its triggers,
Right.
the Order of Midnight, Daxos, and Legion's Landing.
Yeah.
You're looking at 9.5 when you consider the Ministrant doing it to itself. And we have Recursion with Order of Midnight. So I think Mentor of the Meek is a card that we barely talked about and has really actually addressed one of my biggest concerns about the deck. Because
Yeah.
suddenly the sort of low end stuff that we're playing isn't as dead, I shouldn't say dead, irrelevant.
Right. And at worst, I mean, 3-mana 2/2 with like a Grey Ogre isn't great, but because we're looking for ways to not be run over early, it's potentially that.
So are you comfortable with this as our 23 cards?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so let's look at our mana base. I don't feel very comfortable with mana bases in decks like this. I just have doubts about them. So
Sure.
let's look at our symbols first.
So yeah, those last few changes were slightly more on white,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still fairly close. And 3 green.
Mm-hmm. I think we're in agreement about the splash. What the 3 lands that we just put in? Keep in mind that we have currently 8 white symbols and 7 black symbols. Plus we have a Traveler's Amulet,
Right.
if need be. So you're at 9 and 8. So that's actually looking pretty good. If
Yeah.
we did 2 plains and a swamp, you still think we want to be weighted towards plains?
I think so.
It's also crazy to me, just like as a side gripe, that there's no UI button to just add the same
Yeah, I
type
know.
of land. It's like I just have totally given up. I'm like, whatever. Because you're playing not on paper anyway, cards are revealed.
Right.
So it's not that important, but it does, like, the OCD in me gets driven crazy.
Well, and it's also like it's a problem that gets worse in every set because you get all those basic lands from every set.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you just have pages and pages to scroll through more and more.
So I think we have 41 right now. What happened? Maybe we only took out 2 forests. We had 3 forests and we went down.
Right. We still want 1 forest for the amulet.
Yes. Agreed.
So this is 8, 9, 10 white, 6, 7, 8 black.
May just take out a plane. Yeah, assuming, make sure we have 17 lands and we didn't botch the math. Running in with 16 here would be a good way to feel very silly.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, with amulet, we're kind of running 18.
Yes. But I think I do want the amulet and 17 lands in this 6 mana
Yep.
dense thing. Would you consider running 18 lands in an amulet with this many?
No, I did something similar with one of the other decks that had like multiple 7 drops that were game winning. And that seemed about right, but that also had like a lot of card draw, and this has some card draw, but not a ton.
Okay. So we're ready to take this thing for a run.
Yeah.
How do we feel? Well, we can search for a match, but while we're searching, how do we feel about this? What do you think the prospects are?
I don't love it. I think we did the best we could from this build here. There's a few things we could tweak.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, it just feels better to open some of those super bombs.
I mean, we're playing Abzan mid-range value.
Right.
And I really just want to play Azorius table flip bombs.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
This is not where I want to be. I think this is like a fair deck, not like average, but like a deck that's like trying to win through value. And I don't know that's really the way to roll here.
What do you think about this?
I think I keep it, but I think you just have to realize if they go drop, 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 we could just lose because Midnight Reapers are only action early.
Oh yeah, 6 drop. Excellent.
This is where we want to be.
Well, okay. That's
Oh,
not so bad so far.
Seeing our 4th land, I feel better about it too. We're gonna go Midnight Reaper and Ajani because we can't afford not to right now.
Right.
The Cloudkin, of course, makes Ajani look very much like a chump when we drop him. We still want Midnight Reaper.
Yep.
We're still. Problem is, if we block the Orzhov Enforcer, we're putting more in the air against ourselves.
Yep.
Which isn't ideal. So, are you thinking we would drop Ajani to just eat up damage and put out another guy right now, or we would try Foreboding Fruit to just try to dig for something better?
I would lean towards Ajani just as kind of life gain. Oof.
I agree.
Well, we have our long-term game plan here.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was the danger in this whole deck anyway.
Right. I actually think... Oh, we might just get countered here anyway.
Well, it was worth mentioning he had the mana up. I didn't dwell on it, but it wouldn't have changed. I mean...
Yeah.
I think you have to try to get something that starts to stem the bleeding. Foreboding Fruit, in fact, exacerbates the problem.
So I actually like making a token here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Co-burn agreement.
Yeah. If we hit another land, Lyras can also start getting us life gain for that token if they decide to be conservative and just swing in with the Cloudkin. Because the Cloudkin puts Ajani at 1.
Right.
I think I would trade the token for the Enforcer because we get to draw a card off it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with that.
What's Crypt Keeper's activated ability? Crypt Breaker, sorry.
It's a 2-mana tap to make a zombie, and then you can tap 3 zombies to draw a card and lose a life.
And Ajani's is a +1 ability?
Yep,
yeah.
+1 to gain some life.
Yeah.
Oh, Midnight Clock's been...
It's very good, but it's oh boy.
Okay, Elspeth Nightmare.
Oh, it's non-tokens for Midnight Reaper, so I was wrong.
Oh yeah, I forgot that too.
So here we would lose Ajani, or we can trade out our Reaper and then give him something else in the air. Our Lyra Dawnbringer is going to stabilize us quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I think we probably just... I mean, we could keep Ajani +1. The first strike would happen... I mean, if we have Lyra, I think we just let him die?
That's what I think too.
Okay. I mean, effectively, he absorbed 6 damage and he ate half a card in Elspeth.
Right.
We did not get our land, which is a big bummer.
Yep. We could
Foreboding Fruit and hope for the plains.
Right. Seems unlikely, but it does dig us cards anyway. We're not under that much pressure yet.
7. How many cards are in the deck right now? So we have 25% chance per card of getting plains. I think Daxos is still probably... I hate using only 2 mana, but I think Daxos is probably to play, right?
Sure. And... let's get in there.
Yeah. We're going to lose one of our big bombs, though, is the problem.
That is, yeah.
We didn't really talk about it because there wasn't nothing we could do about it, but losing Lyra right here, which I think is the right move for them.
They can't take Lyra because it's non-creature only.
Oh, it's non-creature. Yeah. Okay. So Elspeth, I would say they have so much more mana than us. I would think about getting rid of Elspeth in their situation, but I mean, if they fear these planeswalkers, they could get rid of those too.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Liliana go here, but I think you're right. I think Elspeth Conquers Death is probably the right move.
Because it's still 2 turns till we bring it in.
Right.
Well, okay. We don't know what their hand is, right? They might also, with playing blue and seeing our hand like that, very good play for them.
Right. Well, if we do manage to land Elspeth, we can also get Liliana back, which is another reason that I would probably just.
Yes, I hadn't even gone that far. I was just thinking about the removal end, but yeah, getting Liliana back with an loyalty counter is extremely strong.
Yeah.
Do you trade Daxos for an Orzhov Enforcer here? I think I. Well, no, they're not going to do it, but I would consider it. I mean, I'm looking to do something here because we're sort of floundering on 4 lands.
We are. Although.
Oh, they're going to kill our graveyard Elspeth's Nightmare, so that Liliana's going to be gone.
Right. Huh. Folio Fancies is not what I expected to see from the start.
So we're definitely going to shock ourselves and play something. He's got mana up. Okay. Never mind.
Getting milled.
I think that was a huge misplay because they could have made us respect the counter spell.
Right.
There may not be. Well.
So, which of these do you think?
Well, Lyra's. I mean, if he has removal, it's bad, but Lyra's going to stop the bleeding right away. No one's going to be able to swing through the first strike. She has first strike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. And they're not going to.
Elspeth Conquers Death could take out Midnight Clock and then tax them next turn. But then Chapter 3 probably doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and they're going to remove Lyra after Chapter 3, so Elspeth Conquers Death can always target Lyra.
Sure.
If they remove it. I don't think we need to worry about getting in there.
No, because now they have the Death Toucher back.
Yeah, we're stable here.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, these are a kind of pressure.
Yes. But Lyra can win the game unanswered right here.
Yep.
She unless she gets removed, damage is not a way we're going to lose. She's got Vigilance, First Strike, and Lifelink.
No Vigilance.
First strike, lifelink. Okay.
Yep.
So it's still better for us to just bang in there, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
If we get our 6th mana, we put down Garruk. Because we just want to pressure. And we don't have a target for Elspeth's 3rd chapter. If we don't, we probably Foreboding Fruit. Would you do Adamant to get the food here or not?
Yeah, probably. Although,
we'd have to. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Gilded Lotus.
Okay. Again, them not having counter spells here is huge.
Very good for us.
Okay, but then we hit Garruk here, right?
So just get in first, right?
Yeah, I mean they could draw a counter spell, right? But yeah, get Lyra in first. It doesn't matter either way.
Well, I mean the only other possibility would be to play Garruk, kill the Cloudkin Seer so they couldn't block. But yeah, they're.
I mean, I would have been very happy for them to chump.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Garruk is a big boy, so do we want to just kill the Cloudkin Seer?
And they get in with.
If they have removal, they could kill him.
I think drawing a card's good here too.
Yes, I think this is fine. If they're willing to sell out that bad to get to Garruk, I think we're okay, and I think there's a good chance they seem to be out of gas.
Right, relying on these artifacts for long-term value, which.
I mean, they've got to deal with Lyra, or else this is game over.
Right.
I mean, if we have another way to pressure, 2 turns, if not 3. We can also Elspeth Conquers Death now, the Midnight Clock or the Folio.
Yeah.
And we can start pumping out wolves to keep the ground clogged up. I mean,
6 counters.
So it's halfway there.
Right.
And then they get to one-sided wheel themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. It shuffles their graveyard in as well. What's our deck size? 17 left. Not too bad. Blood for Bones.
Okay.
Get Cloudkin Seer back.
So they're digging pretty desperately here. I mean,
Yeah.
Lyra's positioned, it looks like, to win for us, and they've also put themselves in 2-turn dead mode.
Sparked.
Huh.
Okay.
I guess they're just digging, because the first strike's going to make those Cloud Concealers pretty useless. Now, we do have a decision because they could swing through and hit Garruk.
Yeah, hit Garruk, yeah. That's an interesting draw if we had a graveyard. Okay. So
I mean, we know we have Elspeth Conquers Death, so why don't we maybe we start off with a Foreboding Fruit and see what we draw before we make a decision.
sure. Ooh. Well,
That's huge. So having Rankle here, which one of his abilities would we trigger if we cast him right now?
well, they would block with this.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't want to, but we can attack and then we'll have a blocker if we want to attack. And we want to 0 Garruk. Obviously, there's nothing else we can do.
Yep.
Now, do we swing with Lyra here?
I think so.
Yeah, we just want to pressure them and make them. Otherwise, they're. I mean, you know, if we get some removal.
I actually think getting in with Rankle's good too, because even if
force
they
them to
draw a card.
Yeah, force them to. I mean, I don't think they want to take 8 right here. We will be trading away Garruk.
Yeah. Well, but then they leave themselves with no air.
No air support. They have to draw an
support at the
answer.
moment. Yeah. Oh, we can just get Rankle back and play with haste.
Yes. And we're still sitting on Elspeth Conquers Death if Midnight Clock starts to be a problem again. But we've got them clocked before they can midnight us.
Yep. Same with Folio.
Yes. They don't have... I mean, if they want to... What's our library at?
13.
And how many is Folio going to hit us for if they do it?
If they did it during a draw stuff, they did us for 5.
So we still got 3 turns. We've got them on 2 turns.
Right.
Not exactly. There's still... I mean, if they get rid of Lyra and Garruk this turn,
so
the game starts to be different.
If they Wrath, which... I don't remember what...
I don't think they have a Black Wrath, do they?
I know there's ritual stuff, but I don't...
Damnation?
Yeah.
I mean, they have enough mana.
Have seen it by now.
They got enough mana to do whatever the heck they want. But it looks like they don't have an obvious answer. I mean, they're dead. They're dead to Lyra unless they have an answer here.
Right.
So I would think that they have an answer, or else they made a grave mistake. I think they made a huge mistake.
If the answer is 3 CMC or higher, then we feel good about that too.
I mean, they don't even have enough on the ground to stop us.
Yeah, that's true.
We could swing through for a little extra there, and I mean, even hold back the Midnight Reaper and just draw a ton of cards. If we hit, we could also. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now we have a turn. There you go. But we're drawing a ton of cards, and we still have Elspeth Conquers Death. Planar Cleansing. Well, that's Planar Cleansing is gonna drop the planes and planar swing in with the doggies just for the hell of it.
Right. So yep, they activate that.
Oh yeah. That's
okay.
Very interesting.
One card left in deck.
All right. So we swing in with the doggies first. There's no downside.
Well, the other line is we get back Rankle. Actually, we should see what else we can.
Oh, okay. Do we have enough mana to get? Oh, we just swing in with Rankle
Right.
and the doggies.
Yes. And we can.
How much mana do we have total? 8.
Yes.
Well, they win next turn right now with Folio.
Right.
So, and then we would only have 1 turn to figure out a win.
So yeah, you're right that we have 1 turn anyway.
This is good for us because now they're going to lose their spirit.
Yep.
So we planar cleansing.
We lost our food.
We get back Rankle. Right? I think Rankle's a choice because of haste.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Our last card is land.
Okay. But we also can play the Order of Midnight as another flying threat.
Well, but we have 1 card in our deck.
And that's true. So we probably can't win here.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know that the other line of play. We were dead on the other line of play too.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, unfortunately, even if we had played the Order of Midnight, well, Elspeth. Is there anything? What is in our deck? Do we have any instant speed stuff that matters? Well, it doesn't matter. Elspeth won't dig for it yet.
Right. It's chapter 3.
Yeah. So the huge draw on the folio is really what did us in.
Yep. I'm gonna pack that one in. Okay, so that Black Finale is kind of a wrath, one-sided
Yes.
wrath.
Yes. I don't think I'll have time all in this session to play the whole thing out.
Sure.
But we can do one more.
Try and get at least a win.
Yeah. And then we can resume. Or not, if you're like dying to play more, it's fine too. Oof.
Yep, mana base.
That's even our mana base. Black, we just got 2 black sources. It's not like we got our forest and screwed, but we got a mulligan that.
That's true, yeah.
If we had, this is probably keeper.
Yeah, I think this is a lot better.
Do we send back the Ethereal Absolution or the Plains?
I would send back a Plains.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay, and we can cast, eventually everything here.
Yeah, we don't want to pay life. So we're probably not playing Order of Midnight just for the hell of it at this point.
Right. Plains and the upkeep scry on the treasure map. Like
Yes.
to see that.
Yes.
I think there's a good argument for Night of Autumn kill the treasure map.
Yeah, I think that's. I definitely want to play Night of Autumn, and I think killing the treasure map, especially because they've dumped some mana into it, is good. Scrying is some value, but I don't think we need a 4/3 as badly as we need to not have them do that.
Yep. Plus, we can always trade it off, get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this card? Because
Yes, very good.
yeah,
With they may have been looking for lands in that play. All right, so
Sonic Giant.
So I think it's reasonable to trophy that, but trophy's probably the play here, so they don't just get way far ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Um,
I mean, we could forbidden fruit, foreboding fruit, but I don't think that's. I don't want to get hit with the giant 2 turns in a row.
right. I think we do it on their turn now.
Yeah, that's fine. We have to before attacks, just in case they drop something else or we get some other information that changes our mind.
Well, they also have the targeting trigger that lets them exile,
Mm-hmm.
which in case they tapped out pre-combat could matter. Planes or fight with fire. That card has top deck killed me many a time.
What does fight with fire do again? Is that the big kicker? Yeah, 10
Yeah.
damage. Yep. So that's that's just till end of turn though, right?
I think they won't have the 10 damage one until the end of your next turn.
So they will probably just bop our Knight of Autumn, I would think. They have a lot of lands.
Yep.
Has it really been that many turns?
Well, we just ramped them, so
yeah. Well, it also is a bad combo with the Dragon Master Outcast.
right.
Ethereal Absolution, we're not going to get that mana in time. I guess there was an argument for us not to do that, but I mean, I think either way we were going to get hosed.
Yeah. No plays.
Swamp foreboding fruit for a food because we're going to need life because we're not going to stop this first dragon.
Well, I'm going to get in there. Maybe they won't look at the amount of lands they have. Darn, they saw the line.
That was almost it. We could let them draw.
It's true.
Okay. All right. So we'll probably pop the food this turn.
Yep.
We don't have any sacrifice outlets where we need an artifact to sit around.
Right.
Do they have 5 lands right now? Or is it their end step or something? Huh.
It's their upkeep.
Oh, so they must have stopped. Oh, it's our end step. That's what's happening. Okay.
Yep.
There we go. There we are. So Ethereal Absolution will answer as Dragon Master.
Right. And then
to make the dragon less painful. We'll also want to pop the food. So
I'm setting up for a Settle the Wreckage, most likely.
Yeah, setting up for Settle the Wreckage down the road. The Dragon Master only getting 1 dragon basically is a win. I mean,
yeah.
I think that's whatever in this format. Spending 5 turns to get a dragon is whatever.
No attacks, no plays.
What are they doing? Why wouldn't they fight? Or is the fight with fire gone soon? What are they doing?
Yeah,
it's just gone. It's just gone.
That was only creatures, but
well, why did they shock? Why didn't they do that instead of shocking that creature?
Yeah. Why didn't they attack at all?
Okay. Well, we don't know what's going on here.
Nope.
We'll take a gift. I'm not above it. Oh, are you gonna counterspell this? Nope.
I'm sure Mana Tithe is not in this cube at least, so.
Okay, relatively sure. So, are we going to order? Let's look at next turn. Legion's Landing, Order of Midnight. I guess we'll Order of Midnight back our Knight of Autumn at this point and just make it a burly Knight of Autumn. Unless that's something we care about. Oh, never mind. Just play Liliana Dreadhorde General and blow them out on a double sacrifice.
Yep.
I like that play.
See, my strategy there was to top deck Liliana.
I mean, with the Settle the Wreckage, I mean, we still were in decent shape even in that scenario. We could have just brought back the Knight of Autumn and telegraphed our Settle the Wreckage, or just passed.
Sure.
But I'm feeling pretty good about this game at this point.
Yeah, there was some strange sequences from them, which...
That really put them under the gun.
Yeah.
The Absolution is going to... I mean, we can churn out some... Can we blow up their stuff with that Absolution, too?
Yeah, we can exile...
Yeah.
Creature cards.
Yeah, so we can... I mean... None of this stuff makes me feel threatened at all. We'll bop it, Ajani.
Not bad either.
So we want to play Mentor the Meek before we do Liliana, but we can just attack with the vampire first.
Send that guy in there.
We're doing it, Dave. We're playing Magic.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna get
winning.
our win
Looks good.
until they come up with a wrath that I didn't think of.
So in Mentor. Now, will the static effect of the Absolution prevent the Mentor? Yeah.
Sure will.
Do we want to bother with that right now? I guess getting in there with the Order of Midnight after we cast it is probably good right now.
Yeah, although,
We could just eat the Lyra. That's probably a better call.
yeah, let's do that. So I can do that on their turn.
Yeah. And that would also potentially trigger Mentor the Meek.
Right. Yep. It doesn't matter either.
Goodbye, just in case.
You think they're holding Settle the Wreckage?
They could be. I mean, we just send the 3 things that aren't the Mentor of the Meek at Ajani. Like, if they want to settle the wreckage, that, I mean, we're still way ahead. We could send one of them, I guess, at the player, because even if he blocks,
So this is flying.
yeah,
So he's actually
yeah.
smart move.
I mean, if they blow up the flyer in the air, so be it. Ajani's not that critical.
No.
Oh, we accidentally transformed our thing. Not that it matters. Spit out little vampire tokens to draw cards too. I forgot. I didn't even count that as one of the things
Oh yeah.
that makes mentor stuff. So I guess we'll probably just like use mentor and the first fort to like spit out more little guys and continue drawing cards off Mentor of the Meek.
Yep. So just pass.
Yeah, the 40th card in our deck, basically.
Yep. It's also, for whatever bizarre reason it could come up.
I mean,
we
yeah,
Settle the Wreckage.
yeah.
He's a giant killer that had no targets. Oh, and Drakuseth.
Okay. So this definitely interesting. If he targets our Mentor of the Meek, oh, that's when it attacks. It does that.
Yep.
So yeah, we want to do that. Tectonic, yeah. Yep, just
Well,
yep. Okay. Our deck's it's one of those weird games where like the deck is just doing exactly what you want it to do.
right.
Yeah.
Got the good games. Even without
Okay.
the Garrick.
All right, we did it.